Or maybe they'll just thank you everybody who is on. Appreciate you guys being on because this is some amazing training that Dave Kingsley can tell you a little bit more of what he's going to go over in the training today. But Dave, I want to thank you for taking the time to actually train our team, because it's so invaluable for us to have this information, and sometimes we need to hear it more than once so it resonates with us a little bit more. So I'm going to turn it over to Dave. Thank you so much for being here to share all this stuff.
My pleasure. My pleasure. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here.
Stuff with us. Okay,
perfect.
You got it.
So, again, we had a great dinner about a week ago or a week and a half ago. I can't remember now. It just flies by. Anyways, we had a great dinner. We talked a lot about, the different things going on with the annuities. We also discussed, some of the information in regards to life insurance. And, my understanding, and hopefully I'm on track, is that we're going to talk a little bit about the Symetra Life, talk about kind of how to go ahead and gather information, understand where to go, how to do business, and then we'll go ahead and run a quick illustration. But so what I wanted to do is I'm going to move this up. So this is our website. If you guys are not familiar with our website, please come to it. It's really easy, wfg.amsfsg.com. And when you get here, you want to register. Registration is so simple. Put your email address, whatever password you want. We don't need capitalizations. We don't need numbers. We don't need special characters. You can name it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever. You can do whatever you want. Please put in your WFG rep code, your name, address, phone number, and cell phone number, because again, we're going to take this information and we're going to update our website. Now, one of the things that I did go ahead and suggest, I believe, like I say, I can't remember, I've suggested it to a number of teams, but we know you guys get a ton of emails. And if you're doing fixed index annuities and you decide after today, you do want to give Symetra a chance, you might want to go ahead and create a new email address specifically for AMS, because we're going to go ahead and reach out to you via email and then cell phone number if we can't get a response via email. But again, you may want to go ahead and create a new email address just for AMS. Like for instance, it would be for me, I would do it david.kingsley.ams@gmail.com. If you want to do that, shoot me a text, shoot me an email, contact our back office and just say, hey, I would love to go ahead and redo my email address. Here's my new email address. And any email you get now to that email address will only be from AMS, unless you give it out to other people. But again, I would say just keep it for AMS. Now, once you enter in this information, you hit submit and you come back here. You've got everything in here. Save the password, because a lot of times, guess what? We forget our password. So instead of going ahead and forgetting it and redoing that, just go ahead and save it and log in. Here, again, you've got Symetra Life, fixed index, structured and variable for those client reps that are securities licensed. So here we go to Symetra Life. Now, if you are not contracted with Symetra, you can come here, contracting, it takes you to Sure LC, which is the same contracting for your fixed index annuities. Hopefully you've created a profile. All you have to do is go in there and click on new contracting with Symetra and you're done. Here under Symetra Life, it takes you to the microsite specifically for WFG. Here, again, Symetra appointment through AMS, create online pending in-force business account to kind of see what business you've got going on. We have domestic case underwriting. We have high net worth foreign national underwriting tabs. Here we have our preferred cancer program. There are certain types of cancers. If the client is in a stage 1, stage 2, low stage, certain types of cancer, we may be a 1 or 2 year waiting period, maybe 5-year, as opposed to most of our other companies, we have 10-year waiting periods. We do have an external term conversion. We just got a client who's got a $200,000 term. He is uninsurable right now. The policy was written 2 years ago before when he was insurable. He's uninsurable now. We're moving that $200,000 directly on over to our IUL product. No underwriting. We're going to maintain his underwriting classification on the term, and we're moving it all over, and he is now getting his permanent insurance. Okay, and then permanent exchange underwriting. Here, we've got all of the information about the products, the new Ascent IUL, Protector, and Term. When you click on this, getting started with Symetra, producer material, competitive corner, okay? Our Putnam low volatility. Now, that's not available yet in California. We're hoping that it will be available July 1st. Stay tuned on that. But this is right here. The most important is the allocation index strategy. As I had mentioned before, this is like having an economist and a professional money manager in your IUL determining, based on economic conditions, whether we go to S&P 500 uncapped with a spread, or whether we go to JP Morgan Efficiente 5 uncapped with participation rates, okay, based on economic conditions. I see there's something in the chat. Okay, awesome. Thanks, Alma. Yes, this allocation index strategy is truly amazing. And I'll go over that in just a second. We do have premium financing, so if you do want to take a look at that, we can do that. Different sales tools, our advanced markets division and our high net worth foreign national. And then marketing material, brochures, fact sheets, our chronic illness plus rider fact sheet, which again, in California is not available. In the other 48 states around the country, not including New York, we do have it available. Charitable giving benefit rider is no cost to the client, no cost to the beneficiaries. It's just out of the goodness of Symetra's heart to go ahead and take 1% of the death benefit made payable to the charity of choice of the insured. Okay, and then down here, underwriting information. So all of this information is right here at your fingertips. You have your protector and your term. Illustration tools. Now, if you're not yet appointed, we do have the guest ID. Guest producer, all one word with a capital G and a capital P. And then our guest password is Swifty16 exclamation point. That's when you come here to the Life Illustration login. You enter that into the ID and the password, and you'll get the guest producer tool. It's the same illustration, but down at the bottom, for internal use in big, bold red letters. Okay. Once we get your agent code, then we can get you the permanent, the full version where you can now give it to the client if you'd like. Enforced illustration tutorial, meaning if you've got policies that are enforced, you want to see how they're going, you've got the capability of doing that right here. How to submit new business. Submit through IGO, download paper application, submit paper app, pending case inquiries. Okay. How to issue policies electronically. When the policy is issued, we will do an electronic delivery. It talks about how to do that. And again, more of a unique situation. If you do have clients from foreign countries that come here that are looking at utilizing life insurance, you can come here. You can click on the High Net Worth Foreign National Program. It's going to take you to the hyperlink there. Now, if people are unsure who Symetra is, here's Symetra at a glance, kind of the financials, company brochure. Here is our website again that we got to this link. And then the regional sales team. For those that are outside the state of California, we have both Rick Gallego and myself here in California, but our sales team, I'll just click on this. Now, again, it shows I cover just Southern California. That's not the case. I cover a portion of Southern California, San Diego, Riverside, San Bernardino. Rick covers Orange County, LA County, Ventura, out to Bakersfield. I cover Fresno all the way up to the Sacramento County line, on over to the South Bay area, South San Francisco, San Jose, Oakland, and Pleasanton, and Monterey. And yes, I do cover the beautiful state of Hawaii. But here, it gives you the breakdown of all of the different wholesalers, all of our business relationship managers, our secondary contacts, okay? It's got all of our phone numbers here, our internal. So my internal is Andrew Bauer. If you call the 800 number, it's extension 47. Here's his email address. Here's his direct line. If you need Amanda Aliris or Emily, so we have Amanda here at extension 46 or her direct line. Emily Hennington, extension 34 or her direct line. Now we've got people all around the country now because we are working in a Zoom type of business now, correct? Okay. Okay, there we go. So again, here is all of our back office people. So this is where all of our contacts are, okay? So I'm going to come back here. Now, accelerated underwriting program. This is a video that talks about it. I'm not going to play it right now, but in my opinion, if you've had issues with underwriting, I have seen with those that have gone ahead and utilized Symetra, where they've gone ahead and done the part 1, part 2, and the HIPAA form. They've done all those funky questions, right? They've given that. Now, in those people that were at our dinner, I did give you that pre-IGO form. Use it, change it, create your own, whatever you want to do, but get that to the client first and foremost a week before you go out and meet with them. That way you can have the client do their due diligence, get their doctor's name, address, phone number, last time met, reason for last time, prescription drugs, major medical issues, any DMV issues, any suspended license, DUIs, okay? That makes a big difference whether we do the accelerated underwriting. But if the client can apply for standard and super preferred and all of their information, okay, correlates with the Medical Information Bureau website, with the script check, with the Department of Motor Vehicles, everything lines up. I've had cases get approved in 2 days. 2 days. I had a business case get approved in 4 days, $860,000 death benefit, $35,000 annual premium approved in 4 days. Am I saying that we're going to do that on every case? Of course not. Every case is going to be different. If there's more information we need, we may ask for that. If there's contradictory information, we may go ahead and say, yeah, we got to do this full underwriting. But when we do full underwriting, guess what? We're going to get you an underwriter within 2 business days. Right now, that's the standard. 2 business days, we have an underwriter looking at the case. We have a company that we work with to get attending physician statements. We get the attending physician statements in 7 to 10 days. I mean, this is huge. So again, not saying it's always going to happen that way, but for the most part, we're going to be able to get things done a lot faster than some of our competition. And that's the key. When we take a look at WFG, when we're recruiting people, our number one objective is we got to get them paid quickly. We got to get them that commission quickly within the first 90 days. And here's a way in which we can do that. Okay. I had a brand new rep in Arizona when I was covering that last year. The brand new rep wrote a very good friend of his who was 24 years old, $250 a month IUL. It was approved in 2 days. Again, we are here to go ahead and help you guys with your recruits, with getting your life insurance approved quickly. Okay. Now, I want to just share this with you. Well, in a number of the states out there, marijuana smoking is legal for recreational use. And guess what? We will work with those people. Now, if the individuals smoke 2 times a week or less, 8 times a month or less, we can get them approved non-tobacco, okay? Even if they test positive, because again, if they admit smoking marijuana or edibles, okay, we will do full underwriting. We will do blood work and urine. If they do test positive for THC, that's perfectly fine. As long as they don't smoke more than 2 times a week, 8 times a month, we can get them preferred non-tobacco. So again, we understand the younger generation, maybe even some of the older generation that I know, yeah, maybe. But again, as long as they're not abusing it, they're not doing it more than 2 times a week, we're good to go with that. So again, when we take a look at Symetra, very, very good with their underwriting. Again, if you've got a client that has been, so Gina, also, just to let you know, I believe it's if they're under 24, that creates a little bit more of a problem because they're younger. If they're older than 24, not a problem. So I definitely wanted to let you know that. So again, if they've been declined at, let's say, for instance, PAC and Nationwide, and you want to try it with us, guess what? Most likely it's going to be a decline with us, okay? It depends on the situation. Diabetes, they have to be under 7.5 on the A1C. If they've got high blood pressure, as long as it's monitored and it's prescribed and controlled, no problem. Hepatitis B, same thing. If they've got Hep B, guess what? As long as it's controlled, okay, we're going to underwrite it. So there's a number of things that we're going to do. We're going to be able to do things a little bit more strict than I would say PAC, but definitely not as strict as Nationwide and Trans. Okay, so this is a tremendous tool. Lots of information you can find right here. Okay. When we come back here, we go here down to the bottom. We have IGO. It's Symetra IGO. Now, if you've not created an account, you have to come here and create an account. Fill it out, hit submit, and now you have an IGO with Symetra. You log in, and guess what? It's the same IGO that you have always worked with. Start a new case. Guess what? Here's your information, carrier. We're going to go here, California, here, Index Universal Life, find available products. Here's our Ascent. And we are now in the application. Just like every other product, insurance company that are there. So again, we come here, enter in the information. Okay, come down here. Product and rider selection. Okay. Now, we here want to go ahead and put an illustration was not presented to me. Again, the reason being is if we check that the illustration was presented, they'd have to have upload a signed illustration. Okay, if you want to do that, that's fine. But we know that, again, it's going to go through underwriting. Will it go ahead and be the same underwriting? We're going to need another signed illustration, what we call a revised illustration. So again, it's up to you. We come in here, we talk about the investment strategies and the coverage, okay? Let me see here, I just want to make sure, okay. Proposed insured or replacement, beneficiaries. So here we need the beneficiary information. There is a place, I'm sorry, I'm looking for it. I don't know exactly where it is. But here's a current insurance in force, personal information, payment. Okay, insurance producer cert. Okay, make sure that this matches up with the first section. Producer. There's a place here, and I apologize, I'm not sure exactly where it is. Let me see here. And maybe it's here. There's a place where it's going to ask, do we want the accelerated underwriting? So here's where you're going to upload the information if you want to upload the illustration. So no backup withholdings. So I apologize. There's a place in here where it's going to ask for accelerated underwriting. When you see it, definitely check on it. If you feel the client can go ahead and get approved for standard all the way through to super preferred. So we can get the highest level. So again, when we take a look at it, IGO, it's the same for every company. It's electronic signature, electronic delivery. Again, very, very simple. So that is the website. Let me do this real quickly. When you get to the illustration software now, in the illustration software, guess what? It's the exact same illustration as software as Nationwide. If you've run Nationwide, here it is, okay? So I'm just gonna run a quick illustration. So let's say I've got a 35-year-old male. He wants to go ahead and overfund an IUL. He's got plenty of savings. He's doing great. You know, they're going ahead and doing absolutely fantastic. So again, they're 35 years old, preferred non-nicotine. We come here to policy design. When we're using the accumulator ascent IUL, GPT, guideline premium test, I always do the minimum non-MEC. Why? I want to see what the minimum death benefit is, and we can adjust at that point. Okay? Let's just say here, I'm going to go to increasing from 1 to age 65 and level from age 66 to max. And let's say, for instance, I want to do $1,500 a month, okay, to age 65. We come here. Now, if I want to make sure I'm getting the maximum retirement income possible, we can go ahead here and reduce the face to maximize income at age 65. So starting in year 66, we're going to reduce the death benefit amount. Do we really need that increased death benefit? Well, again, yeah. If we're doing the chronic illness rider, if we're outside of California and we have the chronic illness plus rider, yes, we want a higher death benefit. But if we're looking at maximizing future income, we click this button. Now we come here and I go ahead and say, I want to do monthly, age 65. Okay. Now, again, we do have that premium deposit account. If your client wants a lump sum of money to go in, a lot of our high net worth foreign nationals do that. They lump sum money in. We have the 1035 exchange capability. We always want to avoid MEC. When we come here to the indexing, in my opinion, in the first year, you're going to want to go 50-50. We're illustrating 6%. So 50-50. Okay. After the first year, in my opinion, you might want to go 100% 2-year point to point. The issue is why we go 50-50 in the first year is because most clients cannot handle not getting any credited interest for 2 years. So again, do the 1 year, we'll start crediting interest. If they're making an annual payment, we'll go into the fixed account first and then dollar cost average in. We don't illustrate that there, so we just go 50-50 here. Income and targeting. Here, we go ahead and hit solve. Okay. In my opinion, we will always want to do borrow only. And the default is 65, but I'm going to change this to age 66 to age 85, or I can do age 90. Let's just do 90. Okay. Now, we have two types of loan. The standard wash loan. Again, we charge 4 1/4, we credit 4 1/4. In my opinion, when we take a look at the history of the market over the long term, over any 10-year time frame, we have 2 to 3 years that are zero and 7 to 8 years that are positive. Now, again, with this type of allocation index option, where we are going to maximize and benefit from having a view of the economy and the markets and allocating based upon the economy and the markets, most likely we're going to have positive returns. As I shared with the team at dinner, on our 1-year allocation index option, historically over the last 10 years, actual performance, because the JP Morgan Efficiente 5 has been around for 11 years. Back testing for the 1-year point-to-point, 10.40% average annual return. On the 2-year point-to-point, 12.71% average annual return. Huge growth component. Now, again, yes, last 10 years are huge, but guess what? We're only going to illustrate 6% on this. So we're going to do a participating rate, okay? Now, under output design, in my opinion, we want allocation index strategy comparison. We always show, I don't think we need decimals, but always show the policy charges. Why? We can do our comparison at that point, okay? So we come here to calculate, and it starts to think. So I get my sip of water. So this is just the ledger values, but here's the illustration. So I've got financial strength, and I'm going to kind of just back this out just a touch. So it always starts off with how good the company is, you know, the information on that. Okay, some of the different aspects of Symetra. We'll go ahead and zoom that in, zoom it in. So it talks about the ratings, talks about some of the different things that we do. We come here to the AI strategy. As I had mentioned before, every premium dollar that goes into the strategy on a monthly basis, 2 days prior to the funds going in, here, we look at the volatility index of the S&P 500, which is a measurement of how the economy is doing, as well as where the markets are. If the markets, if the VIX is under 16, we are going to go into the S&P 500 index strategy uncapped. If the volatility index of the S&P 500 is 16 or higher, which means the economy is maybe not as strong or a little bit unsettled, and the markets are unsettled. Does that sound familiar right now? Absolutely. We go to the JP Morgan ETF Efficiente 5 index strategy, which is uncapped, and it's going to be a little bit more conservative. This happens on all brand new premium dollars going in, as well as when we are doing a renewal into the AI strategy. So after a year or after 2 years, we now are renewing the AI strategy. Guess what? We look at the VIX. Under 16, we go S&P, 16 or over, we go JP Morgan. It's like having a professional money manager in your IUL. No other company has this. No other company has the capability of doing this automatically. You don't have to do anything. The client doesn't have to do anything. And guess what? There is no cost to do it. There's no additional cost. There's no additional fee to go ahead and do this type of strategy. So huge, huge opportunity. Okay. This is just kind of an idea of really how the AI strategy works with our S&P 500 core. So this shows a male, age 45. If we just did the core S&P 500 1-year point to point, now this is showing 30,000 a year for 20 years, death benefit increasing, switching to level, income taking out 20 years at age 65. Okay, now I believe this is standard loans. This is not even looking at our participating loans, but male 45, putting 30,000 a year for 20 years. We're going to give them, I'm going to zoom in just a little bit here, just for you guys' sake. Come on. There we go. So with the S&P 500 annual point-to-point 9.5% cap, our distribution amount at the end of the 20 years would be $79,848. With the AI strategy and the historical returns, on our 1 year, it would have been $96,228, and on our 2 year, $146,532. That's a difference of 21% increase and an 84% increase from our core strategy. That's huge. So again, if we're looking for a LIRP, a life insurance retirement plan, this is your opportunity. So again, I'm going to go ahead now, and I'm going to come down here to the ledger values. Whoops. That's why I'm not a doctor. I say whoops way too much. So here we have a $361,000 death benefit. That's a joke my brother tells. He is a doctor. He doesn't say whoops a lot. So here, our minimum non-MEC, $1,500 a year, $18,000, or excuse me, a month, $18,000 a year. Here over on the left, here's your face amount. Here's your target premium. $4,915 of the 18 is what you're going to get paid on. Ouch. That's not very, very strong target. Why? Because we're minimizing the death benefit to maximize the income. So here, again, I got 35-year-old putting in 18 grand a year, assumed interest rate of 6%. At 66, we start getting $101,496 a year based on our non-guaranteed amount payable to age 90. At age 90, I still have $226,000 and I have still $486,000 death benefit based on a 6% return. Now remember, if I can get you 1% more return compounded over a 30-year period of time, would that be a little or a lot? If I can go from 6 to 7, if I can go from 6 to 8, what effect would that have on this type of distribution? Yes, absolutely, Denise. That's huge. Okay. So now, here's one of the things I want to do. Remember this number, $101,496. Now, if we take a look at the guideline annual premium, $18,000 a year. In this scenario, I cannot ever put more money into this policy. Otherwise, it would become a MEC. Okay. Now, the other thing also down here, no lapse guaranteed premium. If I want to make sure I keep that $360 some odd thousand death benefit in force, all I have to do is pay $409 a year of premium. Okay. So just remember those numbers, 409, remember the spray cleaner, and 101 Dalmatians. Okay. This is the first time I've done this, so I just made that up. So here, instead of a minimum non-MEC, we have $361,000 let's just do this. Let's bump this up to 500,000. Hit OK. We hit calculate. Now, our target premium now goes to 6,800 from 49. Our no lapse goes to from 409 to 566. We only dropped about $2,000 a year. $2,000 a year. Now, my guideline annual premium is $24,788. I'm only putting in $18,000. So I've got the ability for another $6,788 in the future if this client starts to make more money and wants to save more, seeing the benefits of this, they can add more money. It gives the client more flexibility. It only cost them about $2,000 of future income to be able to add more. Okay, so now it gives the client more flexibility. Thank you, Gina. I love this. This is my passion. So again, when we take a look at this, Mr. and Mrs. Client, let me ask you a question. You're funding your 401k, you're max funding it, you're putting in way more than what you're getting a match on. So let's say you're getting a match on 3% on the first 6, and you're putting in 15% of your income. 9% is not getting any type of match. If I could share with you a program where we can reposition some of those retirement assets, and in this program, it's going to grow tax deferred just like your 401k. We're going to participate in market upside return similar to your 401k. But guess what? If the market ever goes negative, you don't ever lose any money due to market losses. Now, and I'll explain why we say that. But you're driving down the 15 freeway, you're at that 91 exchange, and it's all congested, and boom, there's an accident and something happens to you. This program is going to provide a lump sum of money, okay, right here, tax-free to your family to take care of them in your absence. But if you live a long life, guess what? When you decide you want to retire, when you decide you want to utilize some of these funds, we don't have a 59.5 rule and we don't have a 72 rule. You can start taking distributions 100% tax-free. At this stage in your life, do you think that might make sense? Okay, portion of your retirement assets taxable, a portion tax-free, as opposed to all of your money being taxable, or what I like to call a taxable time bomb. Now, the reason why I always say that we've got to make sure that we discuss when the market goes negative, we will never lose money due to market losses, right? Why do we have to say that? Because we have costs. We have cost of insurance, administrative fees, premium expense charge. If we have this much in charges and a 0% return, big time are we going to go ahead and negatively affect the principal, the accumulation value, and future income. But if my fees are only here, which Symetra is here, okay, it's going to be minimally affected. Now, as I had mentioned, here are your charges. We are front loaded, okay? Front loaded meaning we try to get our charges out of the way in the beginning. Why? Is life insurance short-term or long-term? Well, hopefully very long-term, right? But if we can get those fees out of the way in the beginning, guess what? The compounding effect later on is even greater. So again, as our fees are charged, we have a premium expense charge of $1,728 in year one. Our administration and rider charges are here at $2,700 in the first 5 years. Look at what happens after the first 5 years. It drops to $186. Our premium expense charge goes from $1,728 down to $918, down to $588. And when we stop paying premiums, that goes away. our cost of insurance will increase, but guess what? As soon as we hit certain ages, it drops back down. So here we go up to 2,300. We drop down to 2,000, 17, 16. At age 69, now going to 70, we start to increase at 70. And then all of a sudden, we get to 73, or 72, we drop down, okay, to 14, then we up to 17. So again, the cost of insurance is based upon if we make it a certain age. So again, here, yes, it gets very expensive because this is mortality right here. Gets expensive. If we hit 93, guess what? We start seeing it go down. So again, when we take a look at this, in my opinion, at age 84, and this is how I calculate things, at age 84, we have 75,147 in premium expense charge, plus 22,003. I'm sorry, that was 75,000 in insurance cost. No, hang on a second. All right, apologize. So 21,708 plus our cost of insurance, which is 75,147 plus 22,003 equals 118,000 over 50 years. Okay, 118,000 over 50 years. Compare that to any of the other companies. I guarantee you, we will come out at an extremely lower cost. Okay, so again, here are your costs to do due diligence. Here is your tax-free retirement solutions. Here's your no lapse guarantee. And again, really what I would love for you guys to do is please do this for me. If you've got cases you're working on right now, if you have cases that you've submitted, but guess what? You haven't gotten an underwriter assigned yet, and you want to see if we can get it done through accelerated underwriting in the next week or so, let me know. Shoot me an email, give me the name, date of birth, rating class that they want to go ahead and do, premium amount that they can go ahead and afford to go ahead and put in. I'll run a minimum non-MEC, I'll run a increased death benefit. You can take a look and see how it compares. I guarantee you, I believe you will be pleasantly surprised. And how can I say that? So I was up in Fresno 2 weeks ago. I sat down with a team up there that writes a lot of life insurance. And I asked them, what do you write? One team writes PAC, one team writes Nationwide, one team writes Transamerica. I sat down with all three teams in their offices. They had their computer up on this big screen, and I had my little computer here. We did side-by-side comparisons. And I will tell you, in every comparison we did, the comments were, wow, I had no idea. So with that, I'm going to stop. What questions do you guys have for me? Hi, Jane, how are you?
So what can we do so that, yeah, I was in the background listening and kept popping on, looking at the numbers. What can we do to get the illustration? So is it possible for you to send us that illustration or something so that then, you know, we can play with it and,
oh, sure.
and start using it, you know?
So yeah, and again, I know this is being recorded, so definitely go back and take a look at it. So what I did was I ran through where we go on our website to get the guest producer or the guest illustration software. Now, again, once you're appointed with Symetra, you get the full version. You can play with it. You can do your comparisons. If you want me to run the illustrations, I can run it. Andrew can run it also. Now, the other thing I didn't share, and I'm going to share this with you here. Let me see if I can find it.
And I think it's always great to have you or Andrew run us an illustration And then obviously we all want to register and be able to sell the product. And then
Right.
we can be, and this is how I used to do it in the beginning when I started. And then I would run my own illustrations just to make sure, practice it a few times.
Mhm.
So I want to have like something that would guide me. And that is exactly what I've done with the annuity business. Is like now I can run my own illustrations. But I remember being a little nervous, like maybe 18 months ago, I forget when we started, but just like I was in the beginning, you helped me with it. You ran illustrations.
Mhm.
And then I would sit there late at night and I would run it. And I was like, yay, I got the same answer, right? That's how I can double check myself.
Sure.
So I think at some point, even if it was just a very simple one, I think we all believe that action is what's important, taking action. And it's
Sure.
great to look at it. Obviously, you know what you're doing, the team's up north. We just have to get that in our mind. And you've been excellent at teaching this to us a couple of times. Where I'm different is I sort of get the numbers. So I
Right.
am so happy. And of course, you see me on here today, even though we were supposed to be at a birthday party at noon. You
Well,
know,
you
I
got
said,
13 minutes. We can get you there in 13 minutes.
yeah, so I was sort of like, this is super important.
Sure.
And
No, I appreciate that.
we all learn differently. And so I think you've done an excellent job with these trainings. But you know, seeing the illustration was great, and knowing that AMS is just a great company. Like Andrew, I was submitting an application yesterday and I did not know there was one button I could not get it to submit. And what I finally figured out, and of course, Andrew called me back. I listened to it. So anyway, it logged me out. I got back in and there it was, it did it. So there's often an answer, but what I love is we've always got an incredible support team from you, from Andrew, from Rhonda, you know, just through all the amazing people there. And that's why it gives me the confidence to go out and sell these products. So I just wanted to say that.
Thank you,
And,
Jane.
yeah, how grateful we are, how grateful I am.
Well, we're grateful for you guys and for you guys helping your clients and entrusting us with helping your clients. So the one thing I just wanted to share with you, and it's under the FIA homepage, but right down here where it says Illustration Express. If for some reason you said, oh my gosh, I completely forgot I need an illustration, click here. And what pops up is our illustration request form. We have the annuity, but we also have the life. You can put your name in, product, you can go AIUL, so we know it's the Ascent, client name, valued client. We can go male, female, birth date or age, let's say they're 35. Okay, state, California. Premium amount, they want to do, you know, $500 a month. Okay, number of years to pay to 65. Face amount, solve. Oops. Above minimum non-MEC. Rating class, you can do standard preferred, super preferred. So, you know, let's just do preferred, increasing, and then special. You know, solve for participating loans. I'll just do loan at 65. Whatever you want, however you want to go ahead and do that. You hit submit. If it's normal business hours, they're going to get back with you on an illustration within about 20 to 30 minutes. If you don't see it within 20 to 30 minutes, it's most likely in your junk file. So always take a look at your junk file. Now, again, as I had mentioned before, if you have that, you know, jane.stanion.ams@gmail.com, you know you'll have it in that inbox, and it's not caught in the clutter, right? So again, if you want to do that, please do so. We're more than welcome to change that for you. So again, we've got that illustration request form there. Any other questions? Well, if there are no other questions, have yourself a phenomenal rest of the weekend. For all the dads out there, happy Father's Day. All the moms out there, make sure you take good care of your dads, and we'll be seeing you soon.
Thank you, David. Happy Father's Day.
Thank you
Happy
so much.
Father's Day. Thank
Appreciate
you
you
so
guys.
Father's
much.
Day, everyone.
Take care.
All right, thank you.